Thursday greetings and welcome to yet another edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shumwefeleni Masipa. Before we commence, we extend our sincerest apologies for the breakdown in airing yesterday's Primetime edition. This was due to a technical glitch. We commence with the watershed moment as civil servants today took to the streets earlier this morning in large numbers to cast their votes on whether to either strike or not. The voting process will take place over 2 days. The Primetime News crew was on the ground in the capital and solicited some views from some of the civil servants who had this to say.
Sam Ilonga, the regional coordinator for the Central Regions for NAPU and the contact person for the Omaheke, Khomas and Otjozondjupa regions, ran us through the voting process as well as who is eligible to cast their vote.
How is the process? Is this that who really eligible whites to be voted? Is this a public service? Irrespective of either you are a member of the union or you are not a member of the union, you are welcome to cast your vote. They come with their ID. We verified. We have a list from the Ministry of Finance or the OPM. So we verify their names. And then if they are appearing in that list, they will then given their ballot and the ink and they cast their ballot, then they go home or they go back to their work.
He added that voting on the day went well. Primetime News also spoke to some of the voters and this is what they had to say.
I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling like I'm left out of in the cold. For the past, I started working in 2006. No increment and the accounts are piling up now. And there's no woman to come to work and work because you don't have. It's like you don't have food in your stomach, and at home people are waiting. Your children and family are waiting for you. Empty promises for the past years, and we don't know now how will we survive if we do not, like now, if we do not succeed with this strike.
Today we want to also vote because of the past 7 years we don't got any increasement. Everything is expensive. We are just living for food and house. Now, we cannot stay so long without any increasement in the government. Even we are now nearby retire. We need at least an increasement for us to go off with better benefits.
I think our main concern is about the inflation of this country because when you look at everything is getting high every now and then. Like fuel, the increased fuel, I think about 3 to 4 times in a month. And when you go, let's say for example, if you go buy food, you find the price that you were expecting last month, the price has changed. You understand? It's not that maybe when we are here doing the voting, we are against them. We are not against them, but you know, sometimes when things get tough, you are tired of that thing, saying every day I need this. So at least if you stand up with the 2 legs, then it's the only way you can solve everything, you understand?
On to law and crime. Inspector General of the Namibian Police Force, Lieutenant General Sebastian Ndeitunga, revealed that the force recorded a total of 98,640 criminal cases during the 2021-2022 financial year. Sawi Hasuku filed this report.
Ndeitunga, while addressing the NAMPO Senior Commanders Conference at Rundu Sarasungu Lodge on Wednesday, said the offences range from robbery, rape, violence against women and children, and other forms of domestic violence. Other criminal cases are murder, theft of a motor vehicle and livestock, dealing in drugs, housebreaking as well as theft. According to Ndeitunga, the most affected regions were Khomas, Oshana, Otjozondjupa and Erongo, with 32.8, 10.7, 8.6 and 7.9% of the total crimes respectively. Kavango West, Kunene and Omaheke were the least affected regions with 1.3, 1.5 and 2.9% respectively. Ndeitunga noted it can be understood that there are so many dynamics involved in influencing the level of crime in each region. Nonetheless, he strongly believes that the Senior Commanders Conference indeed came at the right time when they need to revisit their strategies of combating crime. Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security Minister Albert Kawana echoed the same sentiments, saying the prevalence of crime in the country is a matter of concern.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General commended women as being good leaders, unifiers, competent, capable and committed cadres of the Namibian police force. Sawi Hausiku once again brings us this story.
Taitunga, who is retiring in August this year, in an interview with Nampa said his heart is swelled with pride as he leaves the force in capable hands, including women. During his tenure for the 17 years, the head of the National Police managed to promote women as full commissioners and deputy commissioners, as well as principal staff officers.
That is a policy of government, and all ministry and the departments of the government have to comply with the government policy. It's not only, in fact, it's not only our government. It's a regional, SADC, continental, that people realize that women were left behind. And in our country, the president, even the current president says, nobody should feel left out. And the women were lagging behind. In fact, I had to promote some women jumping in the rank. Otherwise, they were too far. If you wait for them to go through the ranks and until to the top, they will never, they will wait until the chicken have teeth.
When Taitunga became the head of NAMPO in 2005, there were very few women as deputy commissioners.
Balance. But it's not a wheelbarrow. It should be a competent women. Competent women. Some people are saying, no women. It's like you are telling your mother that your mother is useless after I brought you to life. Women are capable, women are competent, women are unifier, women are good leaders. I'm not saying men they are not, because I'm also a man. Otherwise I would. So.
Currently, out of 14 regions in the country, 6 are headed by women as regional commanders. These are full commissioners who head the regions. There are also full commissioners who head directorates, such as the Deputy Inspector General, Head of Human Resources, Head of Training and Development, and Principal Staff Officer.
Now globally, suicide incidents are on an upward trend and Namibia is no exception. Recent statistics reveal that 679 people in Namibia died because of suicide between January 2021 and May 2022, with 650 of that number adults and 29 juveniles. Let's get more on this report compiled by Isabel Bento.
Of that number, 559 are male adults and 91 female adults, while 18 are male juveniles and 11 female juveniles. These statistics were revealed by Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Esther Moyangwe, at a media briefing for public awareness on suicide prevention and reduction in the capital on Wednesday. According to the minister, the Umsati region has the highest recorded suicide incidents at 105, followed by Oangwena and Commerce with 180 cases respectively, while the Kunene, Omaheke and Zambezi regions recorded the lowest with 19, 20 and 24 incidents over the same period. Moyangwe noted it is believed that suicide and mental health are a serious global public health issue and are increasing at an alarming rate. It is among the top 20 leading causes of death worldwide. She added that close to 800,000 people die by suicide worldwide every year, which means every 40 seconds someone dies of suicide. The Deputy Minister emphasized the importance of creating awareness as well as education by reducing the stigma around suicide and encouraging well-informed action that will reduce or prevent instances of suicide in communities. Reporting for Primetime News, I'm Michael Madimba.
When we return, Shifeta says African countries should accelerate efforts in tourism. business and economic segment tonight, Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Pohamba Shifeta, says there is a need for African countries to accelerate their efforts towards increasing income generation through youth-centered tourism initiatives to boost regional economies. Linnea Dishena filed this report.
Launching the 4th Africa Youth in Tourism Innovation Challenge and Summit here on Wednesday, Shifeta said it's time for Africa to equip young people with skills and capital to drive the tourism industry to boost the economy, stressing that around 60% of Africa's population is under 25 years of age. He indicated that youth empowerment in tourism is key to a resilient and sustainable recovery of the sector post-COVID-19, urging that governments should provide career opportunities and entrepreneurship development in tourism, as well ensure that the youth have a seat at the continental stage for engagement to foster sustainable tourism development. Shifeta highlighted that in Namibia, the tourism sector contributed 28.8 billion Namibian dollars in 2019, a growth of about 15.3% towards the gross domestic product, whilst in 2020 it contributed about 16.8 billion Namibian dollars, representing 9.8%, which decreased due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He further noted that tourism occupies an important place in the country's economy and that of many African countries, adding that a plethora of decent work opportunities exist in the tourism sector, particularly for youth and women.
On to European business news. German car maker Volkswagen earlier today revealed it had a robust first half of the year despite a drop in profits in the second quarter. Michael Madimba breaks down the numbers for us.
A week after Volkswagen VW announced that it would part ways with its chief executive, Herbert Diess, the car maker said it was confident for the second half of the year. VW Chief Financial Officer Arno Antlitz noted that despite unprecedented global challenges, VW has demonstrated remarkable financial robustness. Antlitz said despite all the caution in the face of the volatile market environment as well as geopolitical risks, they are confident they can further accelerate the transformation of the group. VW said its net profit rose by 26% to 10.6 billion euros in the first 6 months, even if its bottom line in the second quarter alone was hit by an accounting effect linked to hedging against fluctuations in raw material prices. Underlying or operating profit rose by 16% to 13.2 billion euros in the period from January to June. VW said this was driven by strong performances from the premium and sport brand group. First half revenues were nearly stable at 132.3 billion euros, but unit sales were down by 14% at 4 million vehicles, not least because of the worldwide shortage of semiconductors plaguing the industry. Looking ahead, VW says it confirms its outlook for 2022 as supply constraints ease.
That's where we leave it for the top segment. The sports news is up next, but first the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast.
Sport Planet brings you all things action. Good evening to you. I'm Michael Madimba. Namibia's triathlon relay team members have set their sights on making history at their debut appearance on Friday at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England. The Commonwealth Games will see 71 Commonwealth nations gathered in Birmingham to compete in different sport codes from 28 July to 8 August 2022. In a recent interview with Nampa, Driekus Coetzee, who will be representing Namibia in triathlon as well as road cycling and time trials, noted that the triathlon relay team is going into the event without any expectations. On to some football news. Brazilian superstar Neymar is due to face trial in October of alleged irregularities in his transfer to Barcelona, judicial sources said on Wednesday. The Brazilian international, his parents, and former Barcelona presidents Sandro Rosell and Josep Maria Bartomeu will be tried for alleged corruption related to the forward's move from Santos to Barcelona in 2013. Rosell and Bartomeu will also face fraud charges in the trial, which is scheduled to take place from the 17th to the 31st of October. Neymar left Barcelona for Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 for a world record €222 million, but it is his move from boyhood club Santos to Barca that has caused controversy. Stand by for your sports roundup. That's where we leave it for this evening. Many thanks for watching. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share and press the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. Catch us for our Friday edition of Primetime News tomorrow. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire production crew, it's good night.